Good afternoon, this is Mr. Greg broadcasting to you from Mr. Greg's top secret undisclosed broadcasting location with this week's video. This week, Mr. Greg is happy to announce that he has cracked the code in another episode of The More You Know. Stay tuned to find out more. Now, it may come as a surprise to many of you out there today, but the average citizen possesses absolutely no common sense. On a scale of 1 to 10, statistically speaking, this would be a negative 10. And this is largely in part due to the fact that the average human being spends more time thinking about how they present themselves to the world than on any other single possible existential topic, meaning that people that behave like this have a distorted view of reality and actually really view themselves like this. And while there are several online survival calculators out there to help us in such trying times as these, here is a diagram that explains the many uses of today's most coveted household item, which led Mr. Greg on a quest to try to further understand just why months into this current situation people are still hoarding bathroom tissue. And since Mr. Greg has a knack for investigative journalism, he thought he'd go ahead and do a little digging for himself. The answer is that a global catastrophe is coming, as prophesied by the ancient Egyptians, and when our sun explodes in the coming months, the only way to survive this global event will be to completely shield yourself from the harmful solar flares the most effective way possible. So while many of us out there are using this time to plan our next Halloween costume, remember, the end is coming. I hope you've enjoyed this week's episode of The More You Know, broadcasting to you from Mr. Greg's top secret undisclosed broadcasting location. This week's song comes to me by popular demand. It is Here Kitty Kitty from the hit documentary series Tiger King. And contrary to popular belief, Joe Exotic did not write this song, and it was actually originally written by the Clinton Johnson Band for Joe Exotic. If you don't believe me, I know it's a shocker for some of you that followed him on his presidential campaign. If you watch Joe's left hand when he's holding a guitar, he in no way resembles any sort of guitar chord I've at least ever seen. That being said, this is kind of a fun little song for my young ones out there. I'm not advocating murder or anything like that and feeding any sort of potential murder victim to any cats at any big cat refuge, so do not do this at home or whatever. That being the case, let's get you guys tuned. Remember, we're checking our ukulele. The G string at the 2nd fret makes the same A note as the open A note. The E string at the 5th fret makes the same A note as the open A. And the C string at the 4th fret makes the same E note as the open E. So if that sounds good, go ahead and skip to the chord and strumming section. Otherwise, we'll get you guys tuned right now. This is how your G chord should sound. Your C. Your E. And your A string. Okay, so the chords that this one uses is it's got your E minor, it's got your G, an A minor, a C, and a D. Okay, the strumming in this is your island strum, or down, down, up, down, up, and it's if you follow the handout, it is one full strum pattern for every chord mentioning, with the exception of some chords I've indicated as being 2 times. That means 2 measures. So that's down, down, up, twice. Some chords are 4 times. Same thing, just 4 times. Remember, I want you guys to say the strum while you play it. That's going to help us spot mistakes so we don't develop bad habits. And pretty simple tune. Let's get to it. All right, you guys, here's Tiger King's Here Kitty Kitty. She was a rich woman, she had rich taste, she felt the blood running through her veins. got a little crazy, you got a little hazy, and the cop said there's something wrong here. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, Mama's got some treats for you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, you can't find this taste in the zoo. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, well, Mama Carol, she sure loves you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, Mama made this for you. So if you're ever down in Tampa on a big cat refuge, don't pick a fight with your wife. 'Cause it's a big 40 acres. If you're not careful, you're gonna blink of an eye. No bones, no remains, that won't change the fact that old Don sure ain't coming back. But you can't prosecute, there's just no use, there's nothing left but tiger tracks. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, Mama's got some treats for you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, you can't find this taste in the zoo. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, well, Mama Carol, she sure loves you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, Mama made this for you. Whoa, here, kitty, kitty, well, Mama's got some treats for you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, you can't find this taste in the zoo. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, well, Mama Carol, she sure loves you. Oh, here, kitty, kitty, Mama made this for you. Mama made this for you. Alright guys, there you go. Tiger King's Here Kitty Kitty. See you next week.